Hello students, good day. This video is part 2 of the lesson, Characteristics of the Graph of the Quadratic Function. The inherent shape or ang ilang pagkaila or unsay naan nila nga shape of parabolas gives rise to several characteristics that all quadratic functions have in common. Naay kaparihasan ang tanan nga quadratic function. My last video, I discussed about the direction of the opening and the coordinates of the vertex of the graph of the quadratic function. This video, I'll continue to discuss the other characteristics of the graph of the quadratic function. So first, namely, the axis of symmetry, the zeros, and the x-intercepts. Zeros or the x-intercepts, and the y-intercepts. So, tuluron ka characteristics ang atong i-discuss. Sige. All parabolas are symmetric, meaning there exists a line that divides the graph into two mirror images. So kani, mao ni siya nga line. This line, mao ni siya nag-divide sa parabola into two mirror images. So kani siya mirror. Kana mirror means pariha diri. Kani siya diri nga shape. Then for quadratic functions, that line is always parallel to the y-axis. So kaning a line, this is always parallel to the y-axis. And this line is called the axis of symmetry. Gitawag ni siya og axis of symmetry. Okay, axis of symmetry. Then, example, kung given ang table of values here, this is the table of values of quadratic function. Okay, sample, if this is the kanang vertex, the vertex here, kung mao ni siya vertex, look at the values of y, the values of y in the right side and left side of 2. Okay, so here, kana din ha, o kari dire. The same values. So, mo ni siya ingon nga symmetry. So, the axis of symmetry or this line, siya mo inag-divide sa parabola into two equal parts. Okay, next. So, this axis of symmetry or this line is always intersect the vertex. So, kana mo na vertex, mo kuan yun siya. So, this broken line here is the axis of symmetry. This is always intersect the vertex. And ang coordinates sa vertex, unsa ganito? What are the coordinates? H, K, di ba? H, K. Ang coordinates sa vertex, H and K. Okay, then, this axis of symmetry, naa siya equation or this vertical line, naa siya equation nga x is equal to h. So, where h here can be any real numbers. It can be a rational numbers or an irrational numbers. So, again, baliko na ko ha, class. Ang axis of symmetry is a line na parallel. Line siya nga parallel sa y-axis. Ang iyang slope, kinumdum pa mo sa slope nga m, ang iyang slope kay undefined. Anong undefined man ang iyang slope? Kay vertical line man. Vertical line man ang axis of symmetry. Next, unya naa siya equation nga x is equal to h ang h diha kay bisan unsa nga number. Bisan unsa nga real number. Kung mangutana gani og axis of symmetry, given the graph or the coordinates of the vertex, tanawa dayon ang value sa h. No? Kung kay mauna siya ang imong i-substitute diri sa equation sa axis of symmetry kaning h diha. So example, okay, here 1 2 3 1 2 3, and here negative 1, ay diri kay negative 2 negative 3. Okay, then na diri ang vertex sa parabola, then okay ana, so this is the parabola. So the coordinates of the vertex are 2 and negative 2. Ang iyang ordered for pairs of vertex kay 2 negative 2. So what is the value of h here? That is 2. So what is the axis of symmetry? Kani ang axis of symmetry naa diri, no? Okay, kana. So what is the equation of the line here? Or the axis of symmetry? X is equal to 2. Okay, so mao ni siya axis of symmetry in this quadratic function or in this graph, no? X is equal to 2. Dapat kumplituhon gyud pag suwat ang equation. Reminder na ha. So dili pwede nga 2 ra ang imong answer. Dapat naagay x is equal to 2. Okay? Sige, let's proceed to other characteristics. The zero or zeros or the x-intercept of the function. So, unsa maning x-intercepts or zeros of the function? So, these are the values of x when y is equal to 0. So, value kuno sa x when y is equal to 0. Or, kung sa quadratic equation, mauni ang roots. Hinungdom sa quadratic equation, the roots of the quadratic equation. So, the point that contains the zeros or the x-intercepts lies on what axis? O, tanawa sa illustration, asa nakalay? Okay, yes, correct. That is in the x-axis. Pariha ani na sa illustration. So, depending on its role, a parabola can intersect the x-axis at 0. Na, kani 0. So, naabay na intersect diri nga point? Wala. So, there is no 0 here. Next, it can be 1 point, no? 1 point. So, there is only 1 point that intersect the x-axis. So, there is 1, 0. Next, here in this illustration, illustration, there are 2 points that intersect. In the x-axis. So, there are 2 zeros. So, in this illustration, there are 2 zeros. If we were given a quadratic function and we're given a task to find the zeros or to get the zeros of the function, so all you have to do is to let y equals 0. So, mag-let tag y equals 0. Diba ang quadratic function class kay na y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Then, we are going to let y equals 0. Kay, as I said ganina, si x-intercepts or si zeros or values of x when y equals 0. So, atong buhaton, ilisan diri nato si y to 0 is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So, look at the equation now. No, this equation is already quadratic equation. No, so in solving this equation, we are going to use the 4 methods. No, nato upat ka methods nga pwede natong magamit, pero depende gihapon sa given nga quadratic equation. No, kay not all four quadratic four methods nga ma-solve nimo sa tanang quadratic equation. Only so again, unsa man tong upat ka methods? Extracting square roots, factoring, sa pa, completing the square, and quadratic formula. So kanang completing the square o quadratic formula, pwede ra gid na siyang nimong magamit sa tanang quadratic equation. Sa tanang quadratic equations, no? Pero ang katong factoring, ng extracting square root, dili ka kagamit sa tanang quadratic equations. Okay, sige. Next, characteristic is the y-intercept. All quadratic function or all quadratic functions has y-intercept. So, tanang quadratic function class naagyoy y-intercept. So, then, because all graphs of the quadratic functions extend infinitely, like this, no? If this is the graph of the quadratic function, or this is the graph of the quadratic function, look at the ends, both ends of the parabola, kay naay arrowheads here, di ba? Okay, naay arrowheads. So, the arrowheads here symbolizes or symbolize infinity. Next, so, tanan jud nga quadratic function naagyoy usa ka point nga mo intersect sa y-axis. So, unsa day ning tawag ani nga point? So, this point class, mauni siya ang point nga nag-contain sa y-axis. So, naman tay coordinates, no? The coordinates of this point is x and y. Or the point has an ordered pair x, y, no? Then, the value of y here, kana ang value ana nga y, is the y-intercept. Balikon ako ha. The value of y here is the y-intercept. What is the value of x here? Yes, the value of x here is equal to 0. So, balikon, the y-intercept is the value of y when x is equal to 0. And the point that contains the y-intercept is lies on the y-axis. Kaniha? Okay. Then, if you are given a task na papangitaon ka sa y-intercept, then given the quadratic function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So, mulet na pud kaani x is equal to 0. Ha? So, atong ilisan si x, no, into 0. So, y equals a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. Okay. So, y equals a. So, any number class multiplied by 0 is 0 man, no? Then, so, kani diri nga part sa quadratic term o sa linear term, 0 na ni. So, unsa na lang mahibilin? So, kana na lang, constant. So, c, kana na lang. So, y is equal to c. So, therefore, the constant is the y-intercept. Timani na ha? The constant is the y-intercept if the value of x is equal to 0. Okay? Okay, class. Thank you, class, for listening. I hope naka-learn sa akong discussion karong adlaw.